the key benefits of where the email marketing, again, same concept, same idea, but maybe on different technologies and different platforms as to where it is currently heading towards. Okay, so some other factors to consider. So when you're, again, I talked about some of the basic factors here, but when you are doing an email marketing campaign, things you need to ask is, what's the delivery rate? However, we talked about how often are you sending it, and some people say, well, is it better to send an email on Tuesday or a Friday or a Sunday? And I mean, the statistics show, they show a lot of things. A lot of them say, well, it's best to send it on Tuesday, that has the highest open rate, but on Fridays it has the highest click-through rate. Or, maybe, or now because people are realizing Tuesdays have the highest open rate, since there's so many emails being sent, it's better to send it on Thursdays now. But regardless of the day, it's because it's different. There's no sort of standard guideline as to what the average open rate should be, or the average click-through rate should be, or of how much your subscriber list should be. I mean, it depends on every single product, service, client, and vertical. So you can't really measure it like that. But you do want to individually, track and measure to see when you're sending out an email to your prospects and your clients, what is getting the best results. And that can easily be done using any type of tracking, analytics tracking through your vendor. Also, from a design perspective, you want to make sure that it's designed in a way so the content doesn't get caught in the spam filters. So there's certain things you need to watch out for, like, for example, if you're using things like free in the subject line, that usually raises a red flag, or, there's all these different elements. I mean, even the HTML, a lot of people don't realize this. When you're designing one of those fancy-looking email newsletter campaigns, like, for example, the ones I showed you from Boston Pizza, where they got the images, the logos, and so forth, there's a certain requirement. I mean, even the file size of the images and so forth, and where they're located and how they're placed, could trigger off spam filters. So from a design perspective and from a content perspective, it needs to be well written so it doesn't, be sort of flagged down as spam. And of course, when you send out that email, you want to make sure that your calls to action are there. Click here to download your coupon, or click here to see our offer, or take action now, or pick up the phone and call us. Whatever your goal of your email marketing campaign may be, it's got to be pretty evident in that inside that actual template. The look and feel. I mean, if you are using, here's the thing, if we design an email newsletter template and we blast it out, I mean, there's different, for example, there's Rogers, there's Cogeco, there's Comcast, there's all these different internet service providers out there that kind of have their own method of how the email will look when it reaches the recipient. So, again, there's different tools and different things you could use to test that to see, how effectively it's going to look in different people's, even in different people's, whether they're using Outlook or whether they're using Gmail, of how your template will actually look when it actually reaches the recipient. And then, of course, like I said, are you following all the CAN-SPAM Act laws and federal laws when you are sending out emails? And we talked about the double opt-in list and so forth early on. And, one of the key things, you want to track activity. You want to start measuring, open rates, bounce rates, how much people come to your website, where are they reading down towards. All those things are measurable inside of your email marketing campaign. And those are just some of the extra factors to consider. So I will pause right there just to see if anybody has any additional questions. And then I'll go through a quick case study. And I'm not sure if Doug Shust has joined us. Doesn't look like he has. He had a case study that he wanted to go through. He might be tied up on a call, but I'd be more than happy to go through it for you guys. And that kind of covers all the elements in terms of tracking. How do you test your header, your body, your message? How do you get people to opt in? What works, what doesn't work? We even have a whole checklist of things you should do and you shouldn't do that we'd be more than happy to send you. But I'm just going to quickly take some questions right now. Whitney's asking, how do you create the emails that look like landing pages? Can this be done in Constant Contact? The way you would, it's all strictly through HTML. So, email is open to HTML, and I personally have not used Constant Contact. I know our team has, like Ryan and Chris, when we're doing it for our clients. But I would assume, yes, you could just plug in an HTML template inside Constant Contact, and when you fire it out, it will look like landing pages. John is asking, will you sell us the Facebook email capture app? Yeah, that's part of our Facebook, our custom tab. So whether you want a specific landing page to look like the email marketing campaign, or you just want something simple where somebody fills out a form and they can subscribe right there, those are things that you could upsell to your clients and just contact us, and we could give you our cost for that. Mike is asking here, it actually says Mike, Mike is asking here, you mentioned that younger audiences use Facebook more than actual email providers. Do you have any techniques or tips for doing blasts to your Facebook fans? Okay, well, one of the key things is let me just quickly pull it up. I think it's better to show you. Just give me a quick second. I'll log into my Facebook. One of the downsides of having a Facebook fan page or a business fan page is you cannot send a direct email to any of your fan members. There's a way around it, but there's not a way you could message them directly. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me just quickly log into my account here. Okay, so if I go to my messages, okay, so you can see over here on the left-hand side, here's all my messages, and this is where most people read and they click on. However, when you're sending an update to all your fans, it actually goes down here in the update section. So this is all the people that I'm part of, Budweiser and the EN Excellence Innovation. But a lot of people won't even notice that there's an update section over here. Most people will click on their actual inbox and read the messages there and not the updates. So if you have a Facebook business fan page and you're blasting out that message to all of your fans, it's going to end up in the updates section over here, not in the direct messages section where they'll most likely read it. So the only way around that is if you create an event. If you create an event, like I've done so, then you could send a message, and I covered this in my last webinar, to all of your fans so they get that direct message in there. That's the only, right now, the workaround around it. Facebook has, there's a lot of people posting on the Facebook forums asking when is that functionality going to be available, because, you always have to create an event just to message your fans directly, which is kind of, dumb. Now, the Facebook groups, instead of a Facebook fan page, if you create a Facebook group, then you are able to directly message your fans. So that's one of the advantages of having a Facebook group. But other than that, the Facebook group is not really designed for business purposes. You can't build those landing pages. You can't collect those emails. You can't, do all those fun integrations with your Twitter, your YouTube. All those things that we talked about, that's not there. So that's kind of the trade-off there. So my tip for you guys is, if you have a Facebook business fan page for your client and they want to send a message to them all directly, you try to see a way if you could create an event, whether it's a promotion, whether it's a service or something. That way you are able to send a direct message to everybody. Okay, so some people have confirmed that Constant Contact, it does accept the HTML codes. And Scott saying, and messages are also limited to 20 at a time. Is there a way around that? I'm assuming, Scott, you're talking about the Facebook direct message. It looks like they've increased it to 50, because that's what I was able to do. Well, actually, no, sorry, I'd have to double check this. So sorry, I take that back. When you're inviting people to your event, you're limited to 50 people at a time. So you can't blast out a direct mail to everybody saying, hey, come join my event. You can only do it to 50 people at a time. However, when you get those people inside that event, so let's just say I invited 200 people to my event, I could send a direct message to them all at one shot. Okay, so that's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pull up the case study over here, and again, all this information that we could send you as well, so let me just pull it up.